Welcome back, Generous, to Place Your Bets. I'm Tyler James. He's the one and only Eric Hansen. We cover Notre Dame football, recruiting, and more for InsideNDSports.com on the Rivals Network. And we like to make prop bets and predictions about Notre Dame football, especially when it's the college football playoff. Our season-long competition on the Insider Lounge rewards the first-place subscriber with the free 12-month extension of their subscription. And second place gets 6 free months. There's a thread to submit your picks listed in the video description below. Our subscribers had a tougher time with the prop bets for the Indiana game than Notre Dame had on the field against the Hoosiers. Only 9 subscribers managed to get 3 or more prop bets correct. 3 of them tied for the high with 4. Richie D, Red Rocker 44, and Parvin 70. So congrats. I personally limped through the game with just 1 right. Eric, you got 2 correct. Jimmy J1 is still holding on to the lead for the season with 46 correct prop bets. Eric's at 42, and I'm at 41. Eric, do you think you have an advantage this week because you haven't been spending any late nights on Bourbon Street?
Yes, and that's why I'm wearing this red shirt to change my luck. And I also want to add that whoever wins the Place Your Bets for the season, we'll make sure your internet is better than Tyler's hotel internet.
All right, well, let's get into our prop bets for the Notre Dame-Georgia Sugar Bowl matchup in the college football playoff quarterfinals. First one I have for us, Eric, is which team will record the first sack?
I'm going to guess Georgia's going to have some early momentum in this, so I'll give them the first sack.
All right, I'm going with Notre Dame. I don't know that Notre Dame will have more sacks in the game, but I have a feeling that Al Golden will draw something up that gets Gunner Stockton in some trouble early on. All right, next one is over under 12.5 carries for Notre Dame running back Jeremiyah Love.
Well, the fact that he probably is not going to get the flu again, I think it'll be more than the 8 that he got against Indiana. And I think it'll be more than 12.5. And that's a high number for him. But I think in this game, this is part of the recipe for success, is leaning into the guy that you've been conservative here so he can play in games like this and have more carries. So for me, it's an over.
Yeah, he's only been over 12 in 4 games this season, but I think this one has to be the 5th time unless he's not feeling right. There's something bothering him with his knee. Notre Dame has to feed him. The other 4 games that he had over 12 carries was USC, Virginia, Georgia Tech, and Texas A&M. I expect this game against Georgia to be another one of those. All right, next up, who will lead Notre Dame in receptions?
I picked this way back in the 2019 game. I had a feeling that Notre Dame was going to be able to exploit Georgia with the tight end, and Cole Kmet had a career day. I don't know that I see a career day, but I somehow think this is a Mitchell Evans game. So I'm going to go with Mitch Evans for my pick.
All right. I'm going to go with Jordan Faison. He's coming off his best game of the season, and I like him again. I really like the way that now that he's healthy and getting in a rhythm with Riley Leonard, he seems to react well when Leonard is scrambling, and Riley has a knack for finding him. Now, we haven't seen that for a ton of games this season, but I think they're trending in the right direction, so I'm going with Faison. All right, next one, over under 125.5 rushing yards for Georgia.
Yeah, I mean, Georgia is the worst rushing team in the field. They were 98th on Selection Sunday out of 134 teams. They do have a healthy Trevor Etienne. They do have some other running back injuries. I think Gunner Stockton will back. And I think because Carson Beck isn't the quarterback, Georgia is not going to be as pass leaning as they have been in all their other games. They were the most disparity between pass offense ranking and rush offense ranking of any team in the field. But I think they changed their personality for this game. And I think early on, they're going to have some success because Notre Dame's going to be feeling it out. They're going to see things on film that they haven't seen this year. So for me, it's an over.
Yeah, I'm going over as well. Even though Georgia's rushing offense has not been good, it's still been over that total 7 times this season. I just think Notre Dame's going to try really hard to rely on its running game and establishing the run to take the pressure off of Gunner Stockton. Certainly Notre Dame's probably going to try really hard to prevent that from happening, but I do think that Georgia will have a little bit of success running the football. All right, more passing yards, Riley Leonard or Gunner Stockton?
I don't think either of these teams are going to have a big lead at any time. So there's not going to be the kind of that desperation passing coming back. I'm going to say, I'm switching my answer here. I'm going to say Riley Leonard.
All right. I went with Leonard as well. I think that he's going to find enough room in the passing game, and I think he's going to have to make some plays in the passing game. And I just think, even though Notre Dame's passing offense hasn't been great, I do think that the strength of all the teams on either side of the ball is Notre Dame's secondary, and so I just don't want to pick Gunner Stockton against that. So I'm going with Riley Leonard. All right, our fun one for the week: will Herschel Walker attend the game? And you want to give a report on our last fun one for the IU game, Eric?
So it was, will Mark Cuban attend the game? Not only did he attend the game, he ran into Bob Morton and shake Bob Morton's hand. Bob Morton is part of our coverage team at the Indiana game, and he'll be on with me on Into the End Zone. I mean, he is the show. I'm just the eye candy, if that even exists. That poor vision. But anyways, they ran into each other in the press box, and Bob acted like, "Hey, Mark, how you doing?" And so, yeah, Tyler was right on that one. I didn't think Mark Cuban would be in the game, let alone shaking hands with somebody that was seated 2 seats from behind or next to me.
All right,
now so
what do you
Herschel
think about
Walker on this one? Yeah, I'm going to say he comes up and gives Tyler a kiss on the cheek. So, yeah, and puts beads around his neck. So, yes, he'll be there.
Hopefully he's there for all the people that want to ask Herschel Walker questions this week. So those people need something to talk about. So maybe Herschel Walker will be in the building in New Orleans. All right, our last question, our last one, final score prediction for Notre Dame, Virginia. What you got, Eric?
Oh, man. I am leaning heavily into field goals in this game for both teams. And I am picking Notre Dame to win this 23-19.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that is field goal heavy. At first I was like, is he going to go like 9-6? What's he doing?
Well, it's not Iowa. Then I would have picked 5-4.
Iowa had an offensive explosion this week. Don't you dare. I'm going with Notre Dame 20, Georgia 17. So our scores are in a similar ballpark there. I think it's going to be low scoring. I do think Notre Dame's going to be able to make a play on defense that makes a difference, make a play on special teams that makes a difference, and the offense will do enough to be able to pull out a victory in New Orleans and this major bowl drought that everyone wants to bring up and advance to playing in the college football playoff semifinal.
I'm just glad Kirby Smart didn't get asked any questions about George Gipp.
All right. Well, we will have plenty of coverage of the game on Wednesday. Head to InsideNDSports.com if you've missed any of our pregame coverage. And like Garrick mentioned earlier, he will be on YouTube immediately following the game with Bob Morton for Into the End Zone. And then late after the game, we will have our post-game takeaways. All right. Enjoy some football.